This island, just 22 acres in size, was home to the world's most dangerous criminals. Alcatraz sits on a massive rock in the ocean, which is why it is also called the Rock. The island is surrounded by the ocean on all sides, and for extra protection, a 15-foot-high fence was built around it. There was also 24/7 surveillance by armed guards. Since this island is located at the entrance to the Pacific Ocean, fierce winds and high waves constantly encircle it, making it almost impossible to escape. Considering all these conditions, it was declared a federal prison in 1934 and became a place with the highest level of security, where escaping was thought to be completely impossible. However, on July 12, 1962, the prison's fortress-like security was breached, and 3 prisoners managed to escape. The FBI officers were perplexed when they realized that even if a prisoner were released from the open section of the prison, they still couldn't escape. But the most shocking part was that, for the next 10 hours, the authorities couldn't figure out how the 3 prisoners had escaped right under their noses. Not only the FBI, but also 3 top-level agencies were unable to solve this case. We're talking about one of the most famous jailbreaks of all time, a mystery that has been unsolved for over 60 years and continues to baffle the world. Once again, we find ourselves on a small island in the Pacific Ocean, known as Alcatraz. The key figures in this story were John and Clarence Anglin, 2 brothers from England, and Frank Morris, who had spent 13 years in and out of prison for various crimes, including bank robbery. The final participant was Alan West, who had tried to escape from other prisons before. West was placed in Alcatraz because of his history of escape attempts, and he knew the prison well. He had worked as a maintenance man and knew every inch of the compound. The idea to escape from Alcatraz was first suggested by Alan West in 1960. He discovered a loophole in Block B, where it seemed possible to break out. The 4 prisoners met occasionally during their breaks, and over time, they managed to shift to Block B. Their target was now within reach. For the next 2 years, they quietly prepared their escape plan, which went undetected by the guards. On the morning of July 12, 1962, at 7 a.m., the regular routine began as guards checked the cells. When they conducted a count, they realized that 3 prisoners were missing. Upon rechecking the cells, they found only dummy heads made from soap plaster and cement, placed in their beds to make it look like the prisoners were still asleep. The heads had real hair, which had been stolen from the prison's barbershop. One of the heads even broke when it fell, which is seen in the photo. The discovery sent shockwaves through the prison staff. They had assumed that the prisoners couldn't possibly have escaped the island, so they launched a full-scale search of the entire facility. The authorities were baffled. How had 3 prisoners managed to escape from such a secure facility? The investigation revealed that the prisoners had drilled small holes in the walls of their cells. At first, the staff didn't realize that the holes in 3 cells were actually connected to one another, allowing the men to crawl through them. Alan West's hole, however, wasn't successful, and he failed to escape with the others. West's confession was pivotal. He told investigators how the 3 men used spoons they had stolen from the kitchen to dig through the walls. They even made a drill from a vacuum cleaner motor to help in the digging. The noise was masked by the loud noises in the prison during the day. Once the prisoners had tunneled through, they accessed a corridor and made their way to the roof. From there, they climbed down and escaped by scaling the 15-foot fence. They had also prepared for the escape well in advance. They used raincoats, which were issued to the prisoners, to construct inflatable rafts and life jackets. They planned to navigate the dangerous waters of the ocean and escape to safety. The big question remained, where had the prisoners gone? Despite an extensive search by the FBI, Coast Guard, Bureau of Prisons, and U.S. Marshals, no trace of them was found. The search continued in the waters surrounding Alcatraz, but no raft, life jackets, or bodies were discovered. The theory was that the prisoners might have reached land, but no solid evidence was ever found. Family members of the Anglen brothers later reported that they had received mysterious messages, suggesting that the brothers were still alive and in contact with their family. A few years after the escape, the Anglen brothers were allegedly spotted in Brazil by a relative, though the authorities could not confirm this. The last official sighting of the brothers came from their family, but there has been no solid proof since then. In 1979, Alcatraz was officially closed, and the FBI gave up the search. The island is now a national park, and tourists can visit the infamous Block B cells where the Anglen brothers and Frank Morris once stayed. To this day, the mystery of their escape remains unsolved. Many believe that the 3 prisoners survived and made it to land, but no concrete evidence has been found. This remains one of the most remarkable unsolved cases in the history of American criminal justice.